JBN, we keep you informed. Senior policeman among three cops arrested for alleged corruption. The Inspectorate and the Professional Standards Oversight Bureau, IProban, has arrested three members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, for alleged breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act. They were arrested between Sunday, September 8 and Thursday, September 12. In the first incident, two constables assigned to the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch were arrested on Sunday, September 8. It is alleged that the constables solicited $6,000 from a motorist who committed a road traffic violation. The money was paid over and a complaint was subsequently made to IProban. A file was sent to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution DPP for a ruling on the matter. In the second incident, a complainant visited the office of IProban and reported that an inspector of police allegedly disseminated information of a private nature concerning him. It is further alleged that the inspector approached the now complainant and solicited $300,000 to have the situation rectified. A report was made to IProban and a sting operation was set up, during which $60,000 was allegedly handed over to the policeman who was subsequently arrested. Following the developments, IProban has appealed to members of the public to help the inspectorate to uphold the rule of law by reporting police officers who operate in contravention of the law. Security guard murdered in Kingston. A security guard was shot and killed by unknown assailants at his home in Cassia Park Avenue, Kingston 10, on Thursday night, September 12. He has been identified as 52-year-old Devon Michael, a security guard also of Cassia Park Avenue. Reports by the Huntsville Police are that about 11 p.m. on Thursday, Michael was in the process of entering his yard when he was ambushed and shot by unknown assailants. The police were summoned. On arrival, Michael was seen suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police probing murder in Seaforth, St. Thomas. The police in St. Thomas are probing the shooting death of a man in Seaforth on Thursday. The deceased has been identified as 34-year-old Richard White, otherwise called Mario, of a Main Road or Lower York address in Seaforth. It is reported that White was riding his bicycle along the main road, and on reaching the gate at his yard, he was approached by a gunman. He reportedly jumped from his bicycle and ran through the gate towards his premises. The gunman reportedly opened fire, killing him on the spot. The police say the incident brings the total number of murders in the parish since the start of the year to 17. This is 4 fewer than the 21 homicides recorded for the corresponding period last year. St. Anne Police seized ammunition in Claremont. Detectives attached to the Area 2 Fugitive Apprehension Team are reporting the seizure of 20 9mm cartridges in Claremont, St. Anne on Thursday, September 12. Reports are that a team of officers was on operation in the area between 3:30 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. when the premises was searched and the ammunition found. 2 men were arrested in connection with the seizure. However, their identities have been withheld pending further investigations. Manchester Municipal Corporation fraud trial continues. There was some haggling over receipts for land registered to other persons, which were found at the home of one of the accused in the multi-million-dollar Manchester Municipal Corporation fraud case as the trial continued on Friday. A representative from the National Land Agency, NLA, took the witness stand on Friday and revealed that in 2017, 4 certificates of title were requested from the agency by the Financial Investigations Division, FID. She stated that the certificates were for a parcel of land in Epsom St. Mary, 2 parcels in Atfield, Manchester, and another in Daly's Grove, Manchester, registered to different persons. As the prosecution pressed the witness, attorney Norman Godfrey, who represents former Deputy Superintendent of Roads and Works Sanjay Elliott, his wife Tashage Goldburn Elliott. In refutation, the prosecution revealed that the sale agreements in relation to properties were tendered into evidence in the form of receipts seized from Elliott's office during a 2016 raid. The lead prosecutor revealed that the receipts were for deposits and payments made on lots in Hatfield by Elliott. She said that one of the receipts bears the name of Elliott, in addition to one other named entity to which a parcel of land in Hatfield is registered. The prosecution sought to get information on the land on which Elliott's house sits. However, the NLA representative could not provide such details. Godfrey, in strengthening the argument for the defense, questioned whether the volume number for land on a receipt was enough to disclose proprietorship. Godfrey added that it could not be suggested that lands were placed in the names of others when some of the lands were registered over 2 decades ago. The prosecution maintained that at best, Elliot had an equitable interest in the lands by virtue of the receipts found at his house, which bears relevant information to what the Crown is putting forward. In cross-examination, the witness later confirmed that proprietorship could not be determined without a name on the title. The NLA representative was the 17th witness in the case. 2 other witnesses were called to the stand. A detective sergeant attached to the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency spoke briefly to an operation carried out with representatives of the FID at the home and furniture shop of co-accused Eduardo and Myrtle Elliott, Sanjay Elliott's parents in Hatfield. The other witness was a representative from Tax Administration Jamaica who detailed the protocols of the organization and information requests concerning the accused. He, along with other witnesses, are expected to return to court. Mobe Mayor shuts door on gay rights group to protect sacredness of cultural center. Montego Bay Mayor Omar Davis says the gay rights group Montego Bay Pride will not be granted permission to use the Montego Bay Cultural Center for a series of events it is planning to stage in the Western City. Davis, who chairs the St. James Municipal Corporation, made the declaration after Councillor Charles Sinclair brought the plans to the attention of yesterday's monthly meeting of the corporation. I saw an advertisement that spoke about a DJ performing at Sam Shop Square at the Cultural Center. I didn't even see that there was such a forum planned, but I can speak now that I will not give any permission for it, Davis told the councillors. I'll be seeking an audience with the committee there at the center, and I'll commence my own consultations with a view to reporting the outcome, added Davis. We must not do anything to disturb the sacredness and purpose of why the building is there. People have their rights, and they can do what they want to do, but you must respect other people's rights too. Montego Bay Cultural Center, formerly the Montego Bay Civic Center, which sits on the site of the Old Courthouse, is a heritage building and a quiet cultural oasis in the middle of the bustle and noise of the city, providing interactive, educational entertainment and relaxation. On August 1, 1838, when all slaves were emancipated in the British Caribbean, it was from the balcony of the courthouse that the act was officially read in St. James. Sinclair, counsel for the Montego Bay Northeast Division, said that allowing such an event would breach the municipal corporation's mandate to uphold Jamaica's constitution, which only recognizes marriage between a man and a woman. I am not opposed if Montego Bay Pride wishes to have an event to promote same-sex marriage, but I believe it should not be held at the Montego Bay Cultural Center. The Cultural Center is a building under the management of the Municipal Corporation, which is a government agency, said Sinclair. We as a government agency must ensure that we uphold the Constitution of Jamaica, and in upholding the Constitution, why would we engage a building controlled by the Municipal Corporation to be used to hold a function to promote same-sex marriage? It is not consistent with the mandate that we have, Sinclair added. Montego Bay Pride came under fire last October for hosting a week-long series of activities in the second city in celebration of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender lifestyles. Leave continues to CMU head Pinnock. Head of the Caribbean Maritime University CMU, Professor Fritz Pinnock, will not return to his duties at the institution on Monday as was expected. Pinnock's leave of absence, which was previously extended by a month, should have ended yesterday. Pinnock had voluntarily applied for and was granted leave by the CMU board, while investigations surrounding the university and the former Minister of Education are conducted. Given that the report from the investigations, which are being conducted by the Office of the Auditor General, has not been made public, Professor Pinnock has indicated that in the interest of transparency, he should continue to be on leave until the details of the probe have been made public, a statement from the CMU read. The probe is linked to corruption allegations involving Reed. Explain sudden decision to close Petroleum Corporation, PMP urges government. People's National Party PMP Shadow Minister of Mining and Energy Phillip Paulwell is calling on both Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Minister of Energy Fayval Williams to justify the Cabinet's decision to close the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica (PCJ) and subsume its functions into the Ministry of Mining, Energy and Technology. In a statement yesterday afternoon, Paulwell said that the government's decision is curious, ill-advised, and will plunge Jamaica's energy sector into uncertainty and create a crisis in the sector. He argued that the announcement of the closure of such an important government statutory corporation should not be approached as casually as it were yesterday in a staff meeting at the PCJ. According to Paulwell, so ill-considered and ill-timed was the policy decision, it came on the eve of the first meeting of the reinstated Energy Council. He said the decision to close down the PCJ was taken without the benefit of any decision with the Council, the parliamentary opposition, or consultation with industry stakeholders. The PNP Shadow Minister recalled that the PCJ was established by statute in 1979 as Jamaica's policy response to the world's energy crisis, aspects of which persist today. He said the need for a specialized energy sector agency remains necessary to conduct the day-to-day management of one of Jamaica's most critical sectors of industry, commerce, and domestic households. Paulwell said the government must provide a detailed statement on the way forward and how the ministry could take on the function of the PCJ while simultaneously absorbing the responsibilities of NESOL, a decision announced by the Prime Minister some months ago. He said the statement should also include what will become of the oil and gas exploration projects, for which PCJ is holding and supervising contracts for the continuing offshore investigations. He also wants to know how the cabinet decision would affect the future of Petroleum, the state-owned oil refinery, of which PCJ is the parent company. Paulwell also expressed concern for the PCJ workers and called on the ministry to immediately say what will become of the highly skilled members of the PCJ workforce and how many will be absorbed by the ministry. The staff welfare is very important, and the feasibility of ministry absorbing the agency staff should be thoroughly examined, he said. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.